right, let's do a quick market update on Bitcoin. And what we're going to do is follow up a little bit on some stuff that I talked about in a couple of streams recently. And then we will dig into kind of where to go from here. One of the things that I talked about in my most recent stream played out pretty quick, quicker than I was expecting. If you want to check out some of those streams, sometimes I'll do them on YouTube, but I'm trying to also put some stuff on Twitch. So you can go to twitch.tv/ledger status to check those out. But I want to dig into where we are now with Bitcoin, because some of the primary upward targets that I was looking for have been filled, and I want to see what's next. So this was a trade idea that I put on Twitch. Obviously, this is a pretty short-term trade, but I wanted to see, okay, can we break above here? And if so, I felt like we had an avenue to get back to this breakdown level. We did that quite quickly. This is only a 30-minute chart. And when we zoom out, we'll see that this other consolidation that we have going on currently has potential to break down, in my opinion. Now, it could just be another bullish pennant that we move up from, but I want to give part of the bearish thesis on that too. So we actually got as high as 99.50, almost 99.45. I'm looking at Bitstamp here. So let's just kind of back out on the daily and express why I think this has potential to be a significant level. Honestly, I can just draw the line right here on the exact price line, because what you can see here is this is generally the level that was supported through this consolidation. It's the exact level that we broke down from in September 2019, and we ranged under it, spent just a little bit of time over it with a nice fake out before we broke down quite hard. And so we've recovered back to this area. So this is a very natural kind of take profit type of zone. And I bet you if we put our volume by price analysis on, we'll see that there's a lot of interest here. So above 10.2, which is really the high end of this level that I've personally been targeting, above 10.2 is when it opens up, because we just really didn't spend all that much time above 10.2 when we were there in mid-2019. So we had a push into the halvening. We started dropping right before the halvening, and I think we were bottoming right around the halvening. I think the halvening was just 3 days ago. I can't really remember. These things go quick sometimes. But we've recovered off the halvening, a nice 20-day bounce, which is just kind of a classic while you're trending by that relatively, fast-moving average zone, middle of the Bollinger Bands too with that 20-day. And now we're back up into resistance. So this isn't really where I'm sitting and saying, you know what, I want to take a new bullish trade here, because the risk reward is really for shorts. Although I'm not looking at shorts either, I do think there's some downside. So this is where, if you're in your margin position, if you've got something like that, this might be a place to take profit and secure your win, because there's another trade that we can take from higher if it does break out. So let's pull our RSI off. Notice, though, before we do, we don't have any sign yet of any kind of bear div. If this RSI, if we do make a higher high above 10K, so if we get a daily close above 10K, let's say we sweep up and go to 10.2 or higher, say we go here to 10.4, we could see a scenario where we have a higher price and a lower RSI, which would be a sign of waning momentum. And then if we get that daily close below 10.2, or weekly close rather, below 10.2, that's where this was here, and that would kind of identify a potential swing failure pattern, if you will, which a lot of people like to identify as tradable setups, because they are. They can be great. So if you see something like that happen alongside a daily bear div, that's worth considering our RSI potential here. Now, if we go to the weekly just looks so strong. There is honestly nothing that I don't love about this weekly. Perfect bounce off the 20 week, and now it's a matter of, can you get the weekly close above that key level? So can your weekly close be above 10.2? If you wick up and come back down, that's not as impressive to me. In fact, it would be a sign that we might have to consolidate a little lower. If we can get a weekly close on 10.2 and then retest 10.2, then that's where I see potential for significantly more upside and a very bullish move from Bitcoin. But note, we are into resistance right now. This is not to say we are in a zone that says, yeah, buy with that anticipation. No, the buy was the retest of some of our confirmation breakout levels around 8.1 and 8.2, like Josh and I talked about on a recent podcast. Now, depending on your setup, this would be kind of where you want to take profit, around the 10K resistance, 10.2, the weekly close, those kind of levels is where you might take some chips off the table, depending on your risk appetite and other stuff. That's how I would look at that. I'm not looking to short this. I'm not looking to do anything too crazy unless I get some broader trend failure confirmation. So if I don't get that trend failure confirmation, then I'm going to be interested in staying overall comfortable, because again, like we've talked about a lot in recent podcasts and elsewhere, this is an extremely bullish narrative environment for Bitcoin. So I want to maintain my exposure in crypto, and I'm just looking for areas where I can make swing trades and things like that. At most, I think I might put some in cash to wait for that confirmation, and then I can be a 10.2 buyer from higher if I like, or I can take the next margin setup from higher if I like, something like that. But I'm not bearish, not after that type of really strong weekly candle that we're seeing off the 20 week, which is a level that we've more than once used as either long-term support back in the bull run, resistance through the bear market, and then as considerable trend shifts in other parts of the market. Now it messed with you a little bit here, but it's still where we broke down from, and now we've broken up and retested. So that leaves me in a broadly bullish position, but I want to be cautious while we're at more local resistance. This is a weekly chart. This isn't the same thing as analyzing your 4-hour charts and things like that. You can see here the way we swept into this block up here and then closed these 4-hour candles below. Sure, that looks like resistance. It looks like the type of thing that you want to potentially be risk off. So if we can't hold this level and consolidate, push higher, then maybe we can get back down into the mid eights, like 8,500, retest some of what this action that we have here. And on a lower side, maybe even get down to 7,400. None of that changes my real macro thesis and the stuff that we looked at in the weekly chart, but it provides you a different perspective. And whatever trade you decide to take, you need to consider what that perspective is, how you're looking at that trade opportunity, and consider it in context of your broader trade plan. All right, that's really all I've got. I hope that that helps. I wanted to keep this nice and short. So, yeah, appreciate you joining me, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.